Marvel Zombies, Protagonist becomes world's strongest hero, Episode 31. On the other side, Yibai's puppet Z followed Ronin back to the Kree Empire, and Ronin was busy with her for a while, successfully shutting down the Supreme Wisdom. After that, Ronin began contacting his supporters, and soon a coup force formed. Under the help of the purple puppet secretly rubbing the bad, Ronin's supporters and the Kree who oppose the Supreme Wisdom are increasing, and a coup d'état that swept the entire empire quietly began, and with the momentum of thunder, in less than a few days, the accuser Ronin successfully ascended to the highest position of power in the Kree Empire. At this point, the purple puppet retreated. From the traditional Supreme Wisdom rule to the primitive ruling system, it is bound to usher in the pain of civilization, and Ronin will be busy for a while in the future. The incident of Captain Marvel came to an end, the doll Z returned to the magic cabin, was sealed by Yibai, and probably will rarely use her in the future, so let it be a collection at home. On this day, Yibai was reading in the library of the Pocket Dimension Castle. There are many books here, and they are not ordinary books, but books that are legendary and contain magical knowledge. Conservatively estimated, there are at least more than 100,000 books, and Yibai spoofed them as 103,000 little yellow books. These are all brought back by Natasha in the sanctuary of Doctor Strange in the Zombie Heroes universe, and it can be said that even the knowledge of the occult of Karmatage in this world is not necessarily as much as here. What he was looking at this time was mostly some knowledge related to alchemy, and he had the skill of Puppet Alchemy LV1, which allowed Yibai to learn this very quickly. Alchemy, it is a mysterious and complex science, and it is not easy to define it. Some define it as a method whose ultimate purpose is to turn base metals into gold or to make elixirs. It is also used to make magic potions for various purposes. It has also been defined as alchemy as a divine technology that makes humans equal to gods, but this definition also seems to create a misunderstanding. It is easy to equate alchemists with superpowered magicians, thinking that they belong to some kind of mysterious group and exchange information in mysterious codes. Yibai can now do many things with it, such as breaking down and reorganizing substances, so that objects can be refined and processed. For the time being, he could not change the molecular structure to make one substance into another, nor could he refine the elixir of life, which was the ultimate meaning of alchemy. Just as he watched with relish, a new skill upgrade task was triggered. You triggered a new task. Mission, the ultimate mystery of alchemy. Introduction, the elixir of life, or the philosopher's stone, can be made from the soul as raw material, or you can find materials from a higher dimension, and you have held the key to truth in your hand. Requirements, find the ether in the 7-dimensional space and use it to refine the philosopher's stone. Reward, reading transmission level +1. After reading the task introduction, Yibai closed the magic book in his hand and put it on the desk in front of him. Speaking of ether, Yibai thought of the reality gem among the 6 infinity stones, which has an etheric particle form in the movie universe. In the history of physics, ether is a substance conceived by Aristotle, the 5th substance besides earth, water, fire, and wind, which generally refers to the sky and the upper atmosphere, with a certain mysterious color. It is also said that it is the stream of consciousness that makes up space, the first most basic element created by the spirit world when it creates the material phenomenal world, and everything in the material phenomenal world lives in it. Yibai uses the reading node of reading strip transmission to put his will into the 7-dimensional space, where he observes and looks for the ether. In this dimension, Yibai's mind will always inadvertently receive a large number of incomprehensible brain-burning information streams. Because in this place, the present, the past, the future, different possibilities, different multiverses can be seen, the human brain cannot process so much information. In fact, if it weren't for the reading skill itself that could help him filter out most of the things he didn't need to know, and only saw what he wanted to see, just looking at it in this dimensional space, he would have to burn his brain. As he kept searching, he gradually discovered that ether seemed to be everywhere in this space, and it was the least valuable thing here. It looks like a liquid, it looks like a gas, the color can't be said, it feels like there is no color, and it feels like all the colors are included, which is very weird. He used the teleportation function of reading the strip transmission to teleport a little ether to the front of him, and he easily succeeded. The form of the ether in the 3-dimensional space is the same as the 7-dimensional space, it is a mass of things like liquid and gas, and Yibai dragged this little ether he got back to the alchemy table and used alchemy to analyze its characteristics. As the analysis gradually turned out, it contained time, space, matter, and energy, that is, it was a material that could be used to refine almost anything. For example, the philosopher's stone that immortalizes people and ignores equivalent exchanges. With this understanding, Yibai's eyes lit up. He searched the library resolutely, found relevant books that recorded how to refine the philosopher's stone, and quickly flipped through them. There are many theories recorded in this book, and it is useless to have theory without materials, and the book does not record the refining method of the philosopher's stone, but if you understand enough theories, plus the right materials, ordinary alchemy can also refine the philosopher's stone. The book didn't have much content, and Yibai quickly flipped through it. Closing the book and putting it aside, Yibai walked to the alchemy table and tried the refining of the Philosopher's Stone for the first time using the etheric substance he had obtained earlier. Decompose, compose, decompose, decompose, decompose. Gradually, a blood-red crystal the size of a thumb cap was pounded out by him. This is the Philosopher's Stone. It allows people to maintain youth, allows alchemists to ignore equivalent exchanges, and can create anything understood out of thin air. You have completed the mission, the ultimate mystery of alchemy. Reading strip transmission to LV3, 11 dimensions. Episode 32. Yibai held the Philosopher's Stone and felt the energy in it moisturize his body, continuously blessing his own vitality and stagnating his own aging, but the Philosopher's Stone itself was also slowly depleting. That is, the holder can remain young until the wear and tear is exhausted. Even if you are injured, you will be actively healed by the Philosopher's Stone. Yibai raised his hand and aimed at the air in front of him, trying to launch alchemy without an alchemy array. At the same moment, the Philosopher's Stone emitted light, and according to Yibai's ideas, an alchemy array was outlined in the air in front of it, and a mass of matter appeared in disregard of the rules of equivalent exchange, quickly converging into a fist-sized diamond. And the Philosopher's Stone in Yibai's hand was consumed by about 1,000th, and the volume became smaller. It feels like the Philosopher's Stone is more like a wishing stone, which can fulfill all the wishes of the alchemist. The premise is that you have enough knowledge to lay a foundation, you don't even know the molecular composition of the diamond, and you can't refine the diamond out of thin air. In this regard, you can enrich your knowledge by analyzing the molecular structure of various materials. Only in this way, when needed, can the corresponding materials be refined and combined to create what you want. Throwing this diamond aside, Yibai imagined the molecular structure of steel and a pistol design drawing he had seen in his mind, and once again launched alchemy out of thin air. The blood-red alchemy array reappeared, refining an M1911 pistol in front of Yibai. The Philosopher's Stone was once again worn out a little. Yibai, who had mastered the new skill, played here for several hours until he ran out of the Philosopher's Stone. After that, Yibai collected more ether in the 7-dimensional space, refined some Philosopher's Stones, and made them into 2 bracelets to wear on his wrist. With this thing, you will not be afraid of getting hurt in the future, and you can also create things out of thin air. Yibai was very satisfied with this. That's when he focused on LV3's reading teleportation skill. The level of LV3 is already a level that allows Yibai to overlook all the omnipotent universes. That is, it is possible for him to find a variety of universes in 11-dimensional space, such as the world of the previous life, DC, and various film and television literary works. With anticipation, Yibai activated this ability to make his consciousness infinitely high, 7-dimensional, 8-dimensional, 9-dimensional, 10-dimensional, and temporarily stopped in 10-dimensional space. Here is the perspective of the omnipotent universe. Yibai looked around here and saw Toa, and also saw the Phoenix. That level of life has a quantum state feeling, and through the presence of observers, they temporarily collapse into a form that can be understood by observers. If Yibai looks at the Phoenix, the other party's appearance is Jean Grey. He looked at Toa, and his appearance collapsed into an OAA. When he observed them, they also observed Yibai in a 10-dimensional space, and Yibai's formless will also collapsed into a concrete image, so that Yibai almost didn't know what he looked like. Seeing that Sister Phoenix and Toa wanted to come over and chat with it, Yibai decisively retreated, raised the dimension of his consciousness again, and disappeared in front of these 2 big guys. Looking at it from 11 dimensions, the Marvel Almighty Universe is an infinitesimally small point, and beyond this point there are countless points, representing other universes. Yibai focused his attention on the point next to the Marvel Universe, and its information automatically appeared in his mind. DC Universe. It turns out that it is next to Marvel? No wonder some comics in which the stories of Marvel and DC are linked, and the 2 sides of the relationship are really neighbors. Then Yibai began to observe other points. The points here contain endless possibilities. As long as there is a story, then even if the probability of occurrence is small, in theory, you can find the corresponding story place here. As long as you look hard, you can always find it. All kinds of anime stories, all kinds of series, all kinds of movies, what you know, what you don't know, everything that you have, all of them are included. This has risen to the level of philosophy. Yibai was deeply shocked, especially when he realized that he could cross wherever he wanted. He didn't find where the world he had traveled to was. It's not that there aren't here, it's just that there are too many points that symbolize the universe, so many to infinity, and only one point in this infinite number of points is the world before he travels through, and trying to find it is tantamount to finding a needle in a haystack. He temporarily gave up searching for his former home, and he was ready to try teleportation across worldviews. He focused his attention on Marvel's neighbor, DC, and began to lower the dimension of his consciousness. Just like penetrating a layer of lake, Yibai's high-dimensional consciousness entered DC, and kept reducing the dimension of his consciousness until it dropped to a 7-dimensional space. Here is the dimension of the DC multiverse, where he can overlook things like the Justice League comic book universe, the Green Arrow serial universe, the New 52 universe, and different parallel universes. As long as it is a DC worldview, it can be seen here. After thinking about it, Yibai looked at the time point of a place and continued to reduce the dimension, and in the end, Yibai appeared in the Earth City in 3-dimensional space and launched a teleportation. His body, coming to DC from Marvel, completed the 11-dimensional space crossing. The time he chose was half an hour before the explosion of the Midtown Particle Accelerator, not far from the Interstellar Lab. At this time, the sky was gloomy, lightning and thunder roaring deafeningly, and a scene of an imminent storm. In front of the Interstellar Laboratory, there are many people holding signs protesting something, and there are journalists doing news reports here. This is the first and last time that the Interstellar Laboratory Particle Accelerator is about to be launched. The collision of particles had a small probability accident, releasing a large amount of energy while also penetrating space, connecting unknown places, dark matter gushing out of it, and spreading to the entire central city with the explosion. At that time, all the residents of the central city will carry that substance to a greater or lesser extent, and perhaps one day in the future, they will suddenly awaken superpowers because of some accident. Yibai's purpose in coming here is to try whether he can rub a superpower. As long as there is that substance in the body, Yibai may be able to follow Jesse Chambers' example and obtain supernatural power by saying the speed equation 3/2, 9yz, for A out loud. 3/2, 9yz, for A. This is a simplified rapid equation. The full version of 100 blackboards cannot be finished, but as long as you can understand the complete formula and apply it to yourself, when the time comes to shout the simplified formula can connect the Godspeed force. In a cranky thought, Yibai walked to the square in front of the Interstellar Laboratory. A journalist lady came up to him with her photographer partner and came to him to interview him. "Hello gentlemen, I'm Midtown News reporter Bethany Catesworth. What do you think about the Interstellar Lab's Particle Accelerator program?" she asked. Episode 33. The reporter lady has smart blonde hair tied into a single ponytail, dressed in civilian clothes, and has a beautiful face. Just this look, it is definitely a flower in their stage. Facing her interview, Yibai casually coped, "Today's weather is very bad. I don't think it's a suitable day for particle accelerators to start." "You think an accident will happen?" the reporter lady asked. "I didn't say that." After a few more brief interviews, the reporter and his photographer partner went to interview others. Yibai was observing, there were still many people nearby, and he saw a guy in a red uniform hiding there in a corner, not knowing what to do. This made Yibai a little surprised. This is the Flash? He thought about it and thought that it should be the Flash who ran back from the future. I remember that there is such a paragraph in the plot. Yibai also saw a man and woman who appeared to be lovers, fiddling with high-tech helmets in another corner. Yibai also recognized them. The man was Devo, who would become a villain thinker in the future. There is also an old man with white hair with a high hairline, holding a nuclear equipment called Firestorm, on his way to the laboratory. He is Professor Martin Stein, Tarzan Beidou in nuclear physics. It wasn't long before the particle accelerator started. A few minutes later, a violent roar sounded, and a shockwave raged out from the interstellar laboratory, shattering all the surrounding glass. Yibai turned off his stance and allowed the shockwave carrying dark matter energy to rush towards him, knocking him and everyone around him to the ground. A pillar of light shot straight into the sky from the interstellar laboratory, spreading that material all over the clouds above. In an instant, the lightning became more and more raging, and the torrential rain contaminated with that substance poured in an instant. At first glance, it looks like the end is coming. Yibai dragged his body that was full of pain and stood up. Although the shockwave just now was not strong, his physical fitness was no better than ordinary people, and he would naturally be injured. Moisturized by the Philosopher's Stone bracelet, his physical injuries healed within seconds. But the substance attached to his body was not removed, but gradually fused into every cell in his body, integrated into his gene fragments, and then fell silent. Yibai could feel the extra things in his body, and perhaps someday in the future, these things would give it a superpower. There were many wounded around. Yibai walked to the comatose reporter Miss Bethany Tessworth, picked up the mobile phone she dropped next to her, kindly called the emergency number to a large group of injured people here, and finally stuffed the mobile phone back into the reporter's pocket and turned to leave here. The next day, the news of the explosion of the Interstellar Laboratory Particle Accelerator was overwhelming, and the TV news and morning newspapers were talking about it. Yibai in a hotel suite did not care about this, and after a night of rest, he was refreshed and felt much better than before, which may be the result of the effect of dark matter. After washing up and changing into a new set of clothes, he took out a laptop from the castle in the pocket dimension, connected to the hotel Wi-Fi, and read the news of the world on the internet. News from Wonder Woman, news from Batman, news from Superman. The first two were found, but Superman has not yet debuted, and there are no news reports of Superman on the internet. There are many Batman news in Gotham City, such as Bane blocking the entire Gotham City for half a year ago, and Batman finally turned the tide. The Justice League has not yet been established. It was after Superman and the Flash debuted. Yesterday Barry Allen was just struck by lightning and sent to the hospital for rescue, and it is estimated that he will not wake up in August or September. Closing the laptop, Yi-Bai used a high-latitude perspective to look at the future parallel world Earth 2, and found Johnny Chambers and his wife Libby Lawrence. These two are superheroes over there, the former codenamed Johnny Express, the latter codenamed Free Bella. They have a daughter named Jessie, who is also the future Jessie Express. By chance, Johnny discovered a strange mathematical formula he called 3x2, 9yz, 4a, speed equation, and by parsing and deepening the full version of this formula, Johnny's brain could get some speed in four-dimensional space. Yi-Bai wrote down this formula, returned his consciousness to his body, found Ben Hebe, quickly wrote it down, and began to study. Unlike Johnny Chambers and Jessie, he is not a mathematical genius, so when he looks at this dense formula like an alien text, it is like reading a book from the sky, and he can't understand it at all. But for the sake of divine speed, Yi-Bai also fought hard, and with the psychic ability of Emma the White Queen, he successfully mixed into the mathematics department of Midtown University and became a student. He spends most of his time reading books in the school library, and sometimes uses his psychic ability to read the knowledge in the heads of the professors of the mathematics department around him and the students of the subject, which makes his learning extremely efficient. This evening, Pocket Space Restaurant. Wanda asked Yi-Bai, "What have you been doing these days?" "No one can find you. I went to college in another universe," Yi-Bai said honestly. As a result, he was complained by Natasha, "Last college ran other universes, and the academic qualifications over there are not recognized here." Katie followed and complained, "And you're past the age of college." Jenny said, "I'm more curious, you run to other universes. Did this pocket dimensional space also follow you to other universes? Could it be that we've been manipulating doubles across the world these days?" Jenny's question got to the point. "My teleportation ability has risen to 11 dimensions, which means that the single universe, the multiverse, the super universe, the omnipotent universe, the universe outside the universe, all the universes that may exist, my will can spread over. Cross-universe control avatars, this is the basic exercise," Yi-Bai said proudly. Everyone. Episode 34. The world I am currently in, the worldview is different from ours. There is no Avengers, and there are no mutants. Who want to see it can go out and see. After dinner, Yi-Bai's family went out together and came to DC Universe Midtown. It's rare for everyone to hang out together, and the most excited is Lori Agnes, who runs around as soon as she comes out. Everyone is not worried about her being lost or encountering any danger. With the degree of anti-heaven of this lowly, if you want to hurt her, it is only possible if a villain of the superhuman level comes. The girls around Yi-Bai, their appearance is taller than the other, and the figure is better than the other. Yi-Bai walks with them, and the male passers-by around them see all kinds of envy and jealousy. He began to introduce them to the world. When they heard that there were superheroes here, and they had never heard of them, Katie asked curiously, "Are there no superpowers over here?" "Yes, and very many, like Wonder Woman. She is said to be the daughter of Zeus in Greek mythology, and she possesses a powerful set of artifacts, such as the Vulcan sword that can be cut at the molecular level, the lasso of mantra that cannot lie when bound, the divine shield that can defend against almost any form of attack, and the winged god that allows the wearer to move and fly at super speed." Yi-Bai used Wonder Woman as an example. "Since I learned of Thor's existence, I have specifically read the myths of various countries, and I remember that in Greek mythology, it was the fire god Hephaestus who could forge artifacts, right? Is it possible for us to find him to customize the equipment?" Emma asked. "Artifacts, to put it bluntly, are weapons with magic. As long as there are materials, we can also make this kind of thing ourselves. Like the bracelet on my wrist." Yi-Bai shook the bracelets on his hands. "What's the use of it?" Emma asked with interest. "It can allow the wearer to have the self-healing power of Wolverine, stop aging, and create things out of thin air regardless of the conservation of matter. In the terminology of alchemy, it belongs to the Philosopher's Stone that can give people immortality," Yi-Bai proudly introduced. Hearing him say this, everyone looked at it. "I have seen the introduction of the Philosopher's Stone in the magic book. If people have no sacrifices, they will not get anything. In order to get something, they have to pay the same price. This is the equivalent exchange in alchemy, and the role of the Philosopher's Stone is to ignore the equivalent exchange, so that people can get what they need out of thin air." Wanda, who was the highest magic cultivator present, spoke out about her knowledge of the Philosopher's Stone. "Yes, you can use it as a low-grade version of the reality gem made by adults." Yi-Bai made a very vivid analogy. "How is this thing made? Is it costly?" Jean Grey asked. "The raw material is etheric matter, which can be found everywhere in the seventh dimension space, endlessly, so the Philosopher's Stone is not worth much to us. However, if you want to use it perfectly, you have to learn alchemy, and without alchemy drive, you can't create things out of thin air. Yibai said while practicing a large bouquet of red roses out of thin air in his hand, and gave one to each of the ladies around him. It's a pity that I don't have any magical talent, and there aren't many people in our group who can learn this. Emma was sorry. Wanda is not interested in creating things out of thin air, she can do it by modifying reality, and she is more interested in the Philosopher's Stone giving the holder the function of self-healing and stagnant aging. Natasha pulled a bracelet from Yubai's wrist and put it on her hand. She felt her life force blessed by the bracelet, giving her a feeling that even if she was seriously injured, she could heal in seconds. When I go back later, I'll help one of you make a piece, which is very similar to red crystal, and can be made into jewelry to wear. Yubai has never been stingy with his family. After visiting the night market for a while, everyone went into a nearby nightclub to pass the time, and played until 12 midnight before returning to the pocket dimension. They were very curious about how the Philosopher's Stone was refined, and after returning, they watched Yibai collect the process of refining the Philosopher's Stone with ether. He was busy until dawn the next day, and Yibai made a set of Philosopher's Stone ornaments for everyone according to everyone's needs, including but not limited to necklaces, earrings, bracelets, hairpins, headbands, etc., with exquisite and beautiful styles. After breakfast, Yibai went out to Midtown University to continue his studies in advanced mathematics. And Natasha, who had the Philosopher's Stone, decisively went to learn alchemy. She also wants to have a skill that can show her hands, although she has been learning magic, but her magical talent is really not high. After learning for more than 3 years, she has mastered a few magics. Compared with the magic Dr. Stephen Strange, the talent is as low as nothing. Alchemy is a different discipline, it does not require a deep magical talent to learn. The threshold for learning this is intelligence, inspiration, and creativity, not talent. As a top agent, the last thing Natasha lacks is those three. Alchemy, she only took 3 days to get started, and with the Philosopher's Stone, she could already create things out of thin air. She used the drawings of the Iron Man suit in her computer database to activate alchemy, and it took her a while to actually come up with a steel suit that was suitable for her to wear, a bit like the Searcher suit Stark made for Pepper. However, this thing is not worth much in Yubai's family. Natasha also knows that this thing is not much use to make. The gang of people in the family, casually sharing the two abilities, is not weaker than the person wearing the steel suit. Natasha only practiced alchemy ability to get it out, just as a prototype to put it as a collection at home. I just don't know, how would Tony Stark feel if he learned that his proud invention could only be reduced to a collectible item in Yubai? Time flew by, and before you knew it, half a month had passed. Yibai relied on Emma's ability to open up and learn, and finally let himself have a certain degree of advanced mathematical attainment, and he could barely understand the rapid equation. At this time, he was in the suite living room of a large hotel in Midtown, holding several large blackboards to analyze rapid equations. As I understood the equation and put myself into the value of that variable in the equation, I gradually found that my consciousness connected the four-dimensional space in a very different way than the reading note. The four-dimensional line is time and speed have a relative effect. Theoretically, people who have the ability to time can also make themselves fast, such as the inherent time control of Karichi Shigetsu Miya, who can speed up their own time, and then obtain faster thinking and action speed. When Yibai thoroughly parsed the rapid equation, he felt that as long as he said it out loud, he could connect the divine speed force. Episode 35. The moment Yibai said the rapid equation aloud, dark red lightning appeared around him, crackling and flickering around him, and the whole world seemed to enter slow motion. It's a magical feeling. It's just that the red Godspeed lightning, this is the lowest level, right? According to the manga setting, the color of the Godspeed lightning is associated with the speed of the speedster. From low to high, they are red, yellow, blue, white, black, gold. Remember when the lightning boy was in the white lightning state, he could transfer all the people in a city with a population of hundreds of thousands to a mountainous area more than 10 kilometers away in the instant before the nuclear explosion. How many billions of times the speed of light? It seems that it takes only 0.4 seconds to cross the entire galaxy, and it takes only a few hours to run to the boundaries of the observable universe, which is really exaggerated. And Barry Allen, when he competed with someone in speed, absorbed the concept of human speed, surpassed speed itself, and directly threw the other party off to win the game. The above are all people who have played the divine speed force out of a new realm. Compared with that, Yubai's current divine speed force is a fraction of others, and it is the limit to be able to run several times the speed of sound. In order to test the speed, Yibai left the hotel suite, ran around the central city a few times, and soon came up with his maximum running speed on the ground, about 3,000 meters per second, which is equivalent to 12 times the speed of sound. Compared to the perverts in the Flash story, this speed can only be said to be slow as a snail, but it is enough for Yibai, and he has a feeling that this is not his limit in terms of speed. As he keeps running, his body will become more and more adapted to the state of God's speed, and the speed will become faster and faster. White lightning he does not expect. He can reach the blue light speed level. He is very satisfied. After running a few laps, he went back to the hotel suite to take a shower, and the purpose of gaining the ability was achieved, and he needed to find something new to do. Take out your laptop and surf the internet and find someone you're interested in. On the DC side, she has two characters who want to be invited to join Magic Cabin as residents. One, Wonder Woman Diana Prince, and second, Supergirl Carla Zor-Air. The former is a demigod and can share her godly bloodline. The latter is a Kryptonian, sharing this bloodline, and the physical combat power directly breaks through the atmosphere. Yi-Bai used hacking techniques learned from Black Widow to invade the Louvre, remembering that Wonder Woman usually seems to work there. Soon the network intrusion was successful, and he looked through the staff list in the database, and sure enough, he found a person named Diana Prince. Determining the location of Wonder Woman, Yi-Bai began to invade the relevant departments again to find Kara Danvers. Quickly found her. Carla Danvers, who was adopted by the Danvers family at the age of 13, is 16 years old, lives in the town of Midval, attends the town's high school, and has an older sister named Alex Danvers. Determining the location of the two, Yi-Bai was ready to find Wonder Woman first, and then Supergirl. He changed his clothes, sorted out his appearance in front of the mirror, and said narcissistically, "We are handsome in a new realm today." He activated his teleportation ability and appeared directly across the ocean near the Louvre on the north bank of the Seine in Paris, Country F. Bought a ticket and got into it. Yi-Bai visited this place, which is known as the first of the 4 major museums in the world. This place covers an area of about 198 hectares, which is very large and very touristy. It is divided into several areas, and at this time Yi-Bai visited the Greco-Roman pavilion, where Diana worked. He walked to the statue of Venus, the goddess of love in Roman mythology, and looked at it. It was different from the picture he saw on the internet before Yi-Bai crossed over, perhaps because there were really gods in this world, and this statue was not carved by imagining the gods, but the appearance of Venus itself. As the goddess of love and beauty, Venus is really beautiful, and it is carved very expressively, as if the surface of the stone can be brought back to life immediately. At this time, Yi-Bai Yuguang saw a very good black wavy long-haired woman, dressed in a women's suit, walking towards this hall from the corridor not far away. Yi-Bai recognized her. It was Diana, because she was passing here. In order to attract her attention, Yi-Bai took the initiative to urge the bracelet worn on her wrist, causing it to emit some mysterious fluctuations that ordinary people could not feel. If it was Diana, she should be able to feel the abnormality, right? Just as he thought, the first time he emitted mysterious fluctuations with his bracelet, Diana, who came to this hall, paused in her steps and looked at this side with confused eyes. Diana had extraordinary knowledge, and although she did not know what the Philosopher's Stone was, she could also know that the bracelet on the man's wrist was extraordinary. She is a very curious person, and when she encounters something of interest, she will naturally come over to take a look. She took another step and walked towards the man next to the statue of Venus. Venus, she was originally the elf of the orchard alias Myrthea, and later because she was corresponded to Aphrodite in Greek mythology, Venus also became the goddess of beauty and love, and the little goddess of love Cupid was her son. The Latin words Venus and Friday are derived from this. Diana came to Yeb and introduced him to the allusions to Venus. Yi-Bai turned to look at her and asked knowingly, "You are?" Diana stretched out her hand to Yi-Bai and introduced herself. "I am Diana Prince, a theologian here, and the deputy director of the ancient Greco-Roman pavilion." Yi-Bai stretched out his hand and shook her hand, and said, "I am Yi-Bai, and it is an honor to meet you, Ms. Prince. Mr. Yi is not an ordinary person, right?" "Why do you say that?" "The thing on your wrist doesn't look like a gemstone, it doesn't look like crystal, it's not onyx jadeite, it looks like a special material to me." Diana did not point out that Amazon women have always been straight. Yi-Bai shook the bracelet on his wrist. "You said this, it is a magic material, you can see that it is not a conventional material, I think it is not an ordinary person, right? I've just experienced enough." Diana was non-committal, and after learning that the other party was a magician, she became interested in Yi-Bai herself. "Ms. Prince, may I invite you to lunch? We can have a good chat about this bracelet. You're a magician, you should be powerful, right? I'll accompany you to a meal, and you fight with me." Diana jumped. This warmonger-like speech made the corners of Yi-Bai's mouth twitch. "Okay," he promised. At noon, the two had lunch at a restaurant near the Louvre and took a taxi to an unoccupied place on the outskirts. Diana rubbed her fists and asked Yi-Bai, "Are you ready?" Yi-Bai spread his hands. "Come on, then I'm on." She rushed towards Yi-Bai and punched him. Episode 36. Yi-Bai could see that Diana didn't use her full strength, she didn't even wear the luxury VIP artifact suit. Yi-Bai fights Diana using the fighting techniques she learned from Natasha. Every punch and kick of Diana has tons of power, which is the result of people's strength. If Yibai did not open the up position on the surface of the skin, I am afraid that a face would have to break the tendon and fracture. Rao is so, he is also suppressed. Aren't you a magician? How come it's all a means of melee combat? Diana complained that Yibai didn't use his full strength. Okay. Yibai pulled back. In his hand, 2 dark red alchemy arrays appeared, pointed his palms forward, the 2 magic arrays merged into one, and between the 2 charges of yin and yang, Dao lightning appeared, carrying the roar of thunder to the opposite side. This is the application of alchemy in terms of energy, essentially the power of science. Diana's intuition was amazing, and before the lightning appeared, she had done all the dodging actions here, allowing Yibai's attack to fall into the air, plowing the ditch in the ground. This was not over. I saw that the magic array in Yibai's hand changed, and from it he refined the Dao wind blade and shot towards the other party. At this moment, Diana felt the joy of fighting with strong enemies for a long time, not hiding her identity, and I didn't know what she did. I saw a divine shield appear in her left hand, a Vulcan sword appeared in her right hand, a golden lasso of truth appeared on her waist, and under her clothes, the champion battle armor was automatically worn, and feathered god boots appeared on her feet. After the one-click costume change ended, Diana resisted Yibai's magic and launched a charge against it. Her charging speed is amazingly fast, breaking the sound barrier in an instant. The sonic boom explodes, and the movement is deafening and amazing, fully demonstrating the stillness and movement like a thunder. Yibai barely reacted, and was flown dozens of meters by Diana's shield, breaking several trees. Generally speaking, Yibai will not turn on the kinetic energy absorption function of the up position during close combat, which will make him unable to open his own hands, so he will be slapped away, instead of standing still against the opponent's attack. Yibai stood up and scathed. He had to be serious, otherwise he would be unilaterally beaten by the other party. Just listen to him pronounce it out loud, 3x2, 9yz, 4a. In an instant, Yibai's body was surrounded by red lightning, connecting the divine speed force, and the speed of the entire world slowed down. But he was soon surprised to find that Diana was still moving at high speed, that is, the other party had also increased the speed to the same level. Although Diana's super speed is more suitable for straight, and the speed itself is mostly derived from her winged magic boots, which are not flexible, but her combat experience can make up for her shortcomings in this regard. This feeling is like the Justice League movie in which Little Flash faces Big Chow. Little Flash is fast, and people are not slow. Diana knew from the fight just now that Yibai's body and bones were enough to resist beatings, and she would directly chase Yibai and slash it this time, and she couldn't cut to death anyway. Although Yibai was not afraid of being injured by breaking the defense, but he did not stand on the spot and be cut. Diana chased him and fled, learning Hela from Marvel next door while escaping, changing weapons out of thin air, playing the infinite sword system and throwing Diana at him. Not to mention, this kind of weapon thrown out as a means of attack, at first glance it really looks like Hela's ability. Diana, who was chasing, wielded the Vulcan sword and divine shield, parrying the thrown weapons, and the sound of weapons clashing was connected. If anyone is around, you will see 2 afterimages scurrying through the forest in this suburb. Especially the figure behind. The friction with the air between the movement is deafening, and there is no glass in this place, otherwise it has to be shattered. This is Wonder Woman, a heroine who fights to the people. Compared with Diana's big movement, Yibai's movement in the state of God Speed Force is relatively small, which of course is due to the characteristics of God Speed Force. What are you running? Duel me head on. It turns out that you are the legendary Wonder Woman. Yibai pointed out the identity of the other party, and then ran faster. Diana pouted unpleasantly and accelerated to catch up again. Half an hour later, the 2 sat breathlessly on the top of the mountain dozens of kilometers away. Yibai took out 2 bottles of mineral water from the pocket dimensional space and threw one of them to Diana. The latter did not be polite with him, took it and drank it. You have good strength, from today onwards, you will be my friend. Diana drank the water in the bottle in one sip, patted Yibai's shoulder, and said with a big grin. As an Amazon, she doesn't like the weak chicken of the powerful rookie, she appreciates the powerful person more. Yibai had a whim at this time and thought of something, assuming that he would return to the Paradise Island of the past in the future and know Diana before Steve Trevor did, so can it be assumed that even if he has not returned to the past now, then the current Diana will know about that thing? To confirm this, Yibai asked Diana, before 1918, that is, before you left Paradise Island, were there any outsiders on your island? Hey, how do you know if I'm from Paradise Island or from an island in 1918? I know Steve Trevor, and he told me something about Wonder Woman. Yibai lied. So it is. Diana was abrupt, and then answered his previous question. There is an outsider, her name is Z, she is my friend with Helen, and she has told me many stories about the outside world. It's really like this. Yibai is sure that he did go to the past Paradise Island in the future, with a puppet purple vest. Although this thing is something that has not yet been done for him, it has already happened to Diana. Time, indeed, is full of wonder. Another point he cares about, who is Helen in Diana's mouth? Could it be Helen in Greek mythology, known as the most beautiful Troy on earth? Remember that she was the daughter of Zeus and the Spartan queen Leda, weak in battle, but able to imitate her human voice. How could she have appeared on Paradise Island? Yibai asked this question. You said Helen. She said that she was sent to Paradise Island by time travelers and has been on the island since BC. Diana explained. This made Yibai think of Time Master Rip Hunt, with the legendary squad. In the story of the Legend of Tomorrow, the Ninja Master's junior brother brought Helen to modern times through a gem that can travel through time and space, and the males in the legendary squad are not lightly amused, and finally Zaylee sent her to Paradise Island in BC. Episode 37, skipping the topic of Helen, Yibai said to Diana, do you like to find someone to talk to? I'll go to the town of Midval in Country M, where there is someone better than me, and if you're interested, come with me to find her. Stronger than you? Could it be a god? The belligerent Diana did come intrigued. That's not it, I don't know her specific identity. Yibai said half-truthfully. Okay, when do you leave? Tomorrow, I want to walk around Paris in the afternoon. Then let me be your guide. Leaving the suburbs, Yibai and Diana, who had changed back into civilian clothes, returned to the city of Paris, and under the guidance of Diana, the tour guide, they visited the Eiffel Tower, the Screw Gate, Notre Dame Cathedral, the banks of the Seine, Versailles, and other famous attractions. Until the next day, they boarded a flight to Country M and arrived at the city near the town of Midval at noon that day. On the bus to Midval town, Yibai and Diana sat in the back seat by the window. Diana looked at the scenery outside the car window and sighed. Z and I said that she would go to Country M after separation, but after so many years, there was no news, and I dragged official friends to look for her, but I couldn't find her. Maybe she's just hiding. Yibai said. He knew that Diana could not find Z, because Z was his puppet and would inevitably follow him back to the future, and Diana could not find someone who did not exist for that time period. But she said she would come to me, and it's been almost 100 years. Diana spoke with resentment. Seeing her like this, Yibai's expression became strange, and he asked her tentatively, I said, should you have a strange relationship with that friend of yours? Don't make trouble, she's just my friend. Then you must have a good relationship. The bus traveled for 3 hours, and at about 4 p.m., it finally reached its destination. Stepping off the bus, Diana complained, we should have run over instead of making buses, it's too slow. It turns out that she is still an acute child. Yibai would not admit that the reason why he took a plane and a bus was just to have more time to get along with her, otherwise it would be faster to teleport directly. Let's go, let's find a hotel first. Yibai greeted her and walked towards the town. Diana followed, looking at the place as she walked. This town doesn't look like a place for the reclusive strong, it's too comfortable, because that person is very low-key, and she is not a warrior, just a high school student. The two chatted all the way to a hotel, and the owner of the inn asked the two, how many rooms do you want? Just one room. Yibai said. Diana didn't object either, in fact, the two slept together last night. The Amazon woman has always been direct, and she admires Yibai, so she doesn't mind what happens with it. Entering the room, Yibai felt that the time was almost right, so he invited Diana. Diana, I have a home built in the pocket dimension, do you want to come as a guest? Diana didn't understand the meaning of pocket dimensional space too much, and she asked, what is pocket dimensional space? It's a space that I've created, independent of the world, where my wife and daughter live. Yibai did not hide that he had a wife and daughter. Knowing that he had a wife and daughter, Diana pouted unpleasantly, what a fancy guy, if you take me back to your house, you won't be afraid that your wife will be jealous? It's complicated, anyway, you know when you get there, do you want to go and see it? Okay. Diana really wanted to see Yibai's alien space. The moment she agreed, the magic cottage registered Diana as a resident there, which means that Diana is also her own from now on. Yibai took Diana's hand, and the figures of the two slowly disappeared. Pocket dimensional space, courtyard, 2 people appear here. As soon as she appeared, Diana looked around. There is a marble square nearby, a fountain in the center of the square, and a garden not far away, surrounded by groves and swings between trees. In the distance, there is a field and orchard, as well as pastures for raising livestock. There are many alchemy puppet maids who take care of them. Nearby, there is also a pool with a steaming hot spring by the pool. Looking at the end of the world, it is a border shrouded in fog. It's beautiful here. Diana praised. If you like, you can live here, I can help you make a puppet and let you control its outside activities here. Yibai took out a ring and handed it to her. Another invitation to stay, another ring for me, what do you want to do? Diana squinted at him, and her eyes were clearly saying, you are a big pig's trotter with a flower heart, are you not afraid of being knifed by your daughter-in-law? This ring is a proof of access here, no matter where you are, you can enter and exit this place anytime, anywhere. Yibai introduced that this ring, to put it bluntly, Yibai built part of the privileges of this space into it, only the residents here can use it, if the non-residents get it, it is just an ordinary ring. And after these days of testing, Yibai is very sure that the person wearing this ring, no matter which universe he is in, can return to his pocket dimensional space, and when he leaves, he will also appear in the place of entry, which makes it possible for residents here to return to the Marvel Cinematic Universe anytime and anywhere, even if Yibai is in DC. Of course, the ring can be bound to more than one coordinate, and Wanda and they are bound to more than two external coordinates, one is Marvel's and the other is DC's. It can be said that Yibai's pocket dimensional space is now a veritable place that connects the 11-dimensional universe and can be used as a transit station. To be honest, Yibai is very accomplished about this. His golden finger, called Go to the Finale system, although the name is relatively low, but the function is really strong. Diana shook her head. You keep the ring first, if your family doesn't mind me living in. Good. Yibai collected the ring and said to her, Go, take you to taste the fruit of the orchard, it's very good. Episode 38. The two walked into the orchard. There are many fruit trees, 3 of which stand out in the center of the orchard. Yibai picked a few ginseng fruits for Diana and handed them to her. Try it, this is the most amazing fruit I have here. Ordinary people can restore their youth after eating, and eating one can extend their life for a year. Is it so amazing? She reminds me of the legendary golden apple. Diana said and ate. The flesh tasted sweet and delicious, and Diana's eyes narrowed into a beautiful crescent moon, enjoying its deliciousness. As a hybrid of the Greek god and the Amazon, Diana's lifespan is incomparably long, and the life-extending function of the youth fruit is not obvious in her. Generally speaking, the lifespan of Amazons is about thousands of years. They are not considered mortals, but created by the goddesses led by Hera on the sacred mountain, with female souls who died tragically under the hands of men, and it can be said that they can be squeezed out of mud. In essence, the Amazons are the army of the goddess Hera in the mortal world, but in recent years, those goddesses have rarely intervened in the mortal world. Some stay on the high seat of the sacred mountain, and some simply blend in with the human race. How about it? It's delicious. Yibai also picked a few youth fruits and ate them. Well, delicious. Diana said happily. If you want to eat every day, you can stay here. Yibai did not forget to strike while the iron was hot. Diana was gluttonous, and she was a little shaken by this invitation. Let's wait for your family to agree. She resisted the temptation. Yibai was not impressed. She was registered as a resident here. It was only a matter of time before she lived here, and Wanda would not object. After eating the fruit, Yibai led her to the fairy tale castle. Go, take you to meet them, you will definitely have many topics in common with them. They? Diana was speechless again. Yibai, this guy, shouldn't he be opening a harem? Yibai smiled and did not speak. The interior of the castle was spacious, and Yibai led her to the shared room where the shared chair and the live TV were stored. Here, Diana met Yibai's family for the first time. At this time, they are all lying on the shared chair with a very sci-fi shape, controlling the stand-in on the Marvel side, which makes them seem to be asleep. In fact, they are awake, but most of their attention is on the stand-in. Girls, there are guests coming. Yibai said to everyone in the chair. One by one, everyone opened their eyes and looked at the people around Yibai. I saw a black wavy hair, wearing a sleeveless vest, blue plaid long-sleeve jacket, wearing black pencil pants and black high heels, with a great figure, extremely high appearance, heroic and sassy. Even in this group of people, Diana's appearance belongs to the one who stands out. To introduce you, her name is Diana Prince, Wonder Woman, her father is Zeus, the God King, and her mother is the Amazon Queen of the Paradise Island of Shermeskara. After introducing Diana to everyone, Yibai introduced Diana to the women. Diana, she is my wife Wanda Maximoff, codenamed Scarlet Witch. This little angel is our daughter Agnes Lily Yi. The others are Natasha Romanoff, codenamed Black Widow. Emma Grace Frost, codename White Queen. Jean Grey, codenamed Phoenix. Kathleen and Pride is codenamed Phantom Cat. Jenny Marie Berbier, codename Aurora. Not long ago, Yibai told everyone about the person Wonder Woman. Listening to Yibai's introduction at that time, the most impressive thing about Wonder Woman was not her identity as Zeus's daughter, but her set of artifact suits that were not weaker than Thor's hammer, and now Yibai brought people home, and everyone was very interested in her. Diana is also very interested in the people here, and her intuition as a demigod tells her that the people here are very strong, and she likes to dance knives and guns, and she likes to spend time with the strong most. However, she glanced at Yibai obliquely, and the first thing she said to everyone was, some flowery guy fooled me here, if you mind, I will leave. Stay, we don't mind. The intimate little cotton jacket Wanda smiled and said that she had never cared about Yibai's flower heart problem. Diana couldn't help but roll her eyes. From the expression of everyone, she found that someone was really opening a harem, and she glared at Yibai viciously. You guy really? Everyone left the shared room and went to the living room, where everyone surrounded Diana, the new member, and kept asking questions. When asked about her set of artifacts, Diana generously took them out for everyone to see. The lasso of truth, the sword of Vulcan, the divine power shield, the winged dragon track, the guardian silver bracelet, and the champion helmet are all treasures. For example, the divine power shield, which is made of Amazon metal as the main material, is a small round shield, not only can defend against attacks, but the edge of the shield is also very sharp and can be used for slashing. It contains the divine power of Demeter, the goddess of agriculture, which can make the holder become infinitely powerful. After consulting Diana's consent, the Phantom Cat also put on the pair of combat boots, and was blessed with flying and rapid superpowers by these shoes, swishing around the living room, and the whole person turned into an afterimage. Yibai held the divine power shield and used alchemy to analyze the characteristics of the material Amazon, in order to train out of thin air into this super metal that is exactly the same as the Marvel Edelman alloy next door. Emma took the lasso of truth and tied herself to try to lie, but as soon as she opened her mouth, she felt that the rope became burning, making her unbearable, and she couldn't tell the lie. The crowd was getting to know Diana, and Diana was certainly getting to know the crowd and asking about their abilities. Everyone saw that Diana was so generous, and did not hide it. Each of them talked about their own abilities, and Diana, who listened to it, was very excited, and felt that this freak of himself had finally found the organization. Her sassiness is very contagious, everyone likes her personality, and Diana easily integrates into this circle. While everyone was communicating, Yibai found traces of Olympus enchantment on the divine power shield, which were all small and invisible to the naked eye, densely packed with magic runes. Yibai found paper and pen and wrote down these regular combinations and repeated runes, which were from Hephaestus's solid enchantment technique, and he naturally would not let it go when he had the opportunity to study it. Episode 39. Diana saw Yibai writing and drawing there, leaned over and asked, "What are you doing?" "I'm analyzing Amazon metal and Olympus enchantment. If I can parse it, maybe I can copy your equipment." "You parsed it?" "The properties of metals have just been resolved." Yibai launched alchemy, and on the coffee table in front of him, he refined a golden Amazon metal ingot out of thin air. Diana picked it up curiously, tinkered, and was shocked. "You actually really created Amazon metal? This is not ordinary metal, even if we Amazons don't have much. How did you do it?" Yibai looked at the Philosopher's Stone bracelet on his wrist, and he found that the bracelet had shrunk by 1/10 out of thin air. "It seems that the creation of Amazon metal consumes a lot of Philosopher's Stones, and I don't know what the principle is." "It's the Philosopher's Stone." Wanda explained to Diana, and detailed a little about the Philosopher's Stone. Knowing that the Philosopher's Stone was an elixir and a stone that could create things out of thin air made Diana feel amazing. Yibai took the piece of Amazon metal from Diana's hand and began to imitate the divine shield. Because it is a direct copy with reference to the genuine version, the above Olympus enchantment rune is drawn according to the cat, which is not difficult in Yibai's opinion. In less than a few minutes, a copycat divine power shield was pounded out by him. He handed the copycat version to Diana. "Try it, what's different from yours?" Diana took it, and the rest looked at her curiously. If the real cottage is successful, it also means that everyone here will be able to have an artifact set in the future. Even if the Olympus enchantment technology is fully analyzed, the style of the artifact can be designed by itself, rather than the set of the copycat Diana. Diana grabbed the shield in her left hand and shook her head after some trying. "It doesn't have Demeter's divine power and can't bless my physical strength." Divine power. Yibai still didn't believe in evil. He held the cottage divine power shield and the genuine divine power shield in his left and right hands, closed his eyes and used alchemy to sense the difference between the two. Gradually, he really discovered something he hadn't found before, and in the genuine version, there was a very unique energy, which could bless the holder's powerful power. Yibai tried to simulate this energy with the Philosopher's Stone, which is refined with the ether as the main material, and the ether contains space, time, matter, energy. In layman's terms, all the rules of the world are contained in it, and theoretically, any form of energy can also be simulated. As he continued to try, gradually, this kind of divine power called Demeter, the goddess of agriculture and plants, also appeared in the cottage divine power shield. He opened his eyes and handed the copycat to Diana again. "You try again." Diana tried again, and was shocked. She felt it was the same feeling as when she was holding a genuine divine power shield, and the power of the blessing was exactly the same. "You actually did it." Looking at Diana's expression, Wanda, Emma, and the others knew that Yibai really succeeded in copycatting the defensive artifact of the divine power shield. Everyone was very excited, and they couldn't help but fantasize about the heroism of their artifact suit. "I'm just imitating, so it's very simple to do. If I want to redesign the appearance, I must figure out the rules for combining those runes in the Olympus enchantment technology, and only by completely understanding the rules can I freely design the artifact I need." Yibai spread his hands. "Can I customize your equipment from you in the future?" Diana was in a delicate mood. "Yes." Next, Yibai began to analyze Diana's other equipment, and copied all the enchantment runes on it, while noting down the divine power characteristics in the artifact one by one. The divine shield contains the divine power of Demeter, the goddess of agriculture and plants. The lasso of Mantra contains the divine power of Gaia, the mother god of earth, and Hestia, the goddess of the family of fire. The winged god has speed and the divine power of Hermes, the god of thieves. The helmet of the champion contains the divine power of Athena, the goddess of wisdom. The guardian silver bracelet is sealed with the divine power of Zeus. The sword of Vulcan contains the divine power of Hephaestus, the god of fire and forging. In fact, even Diana herself was endowed with the divine power of beauty by Aphrodite. However, except for the divine power shield, which is made of Amazon metal, not all the rest of the parts of this set are the same. Yi Bai thought of the Ulu metal used by Mjolnir. The metal was refined from the core of the dead heart. Yi Bai planned to wait for his free time. He would go to find a dead star. Maybe he could collect some Ulu metal back. In one night, Yi Bai successfully copied Diana's Wonder Woman suit. Diana's mood was mixed and amazed at the same time. And the people in Yi Bai's family are excited. This set of copycat goods was taken by Emma to wear for his own stand-in, not to mention, the substitute wears it, directly obtains a very considerable melee combat ability, but unfortunately Emma does not know any martial arts, even if she wears a Wonder Woman suit. It is only blessed with several such as super strength, super speed, flying ability, as a weapon and equipment itself function, can be played by Emma is really limited. Outside, the sky lit up, and everyone who had not slept all night was not sleepy, and after breakfast, Yi Bai asked Diana, "I'm going to find that person, are you coming? You go first, I still want to stay here for a while." Diana also wanted to chat with the women and continue to visit this magical place, which was less important than the original purpose. Okay. Yi Bai nodded, left the pocket dimensional space alone, and came to the outside town of Midval, ready to find the little Supergirl when she was a high school student. The dividing line of the main character's attributes: name, Yi Bai, race, human, gender, male, Goldfinger, go to the finale system, holds a special doll, purple, ability, 1, at position, LV3. 2, reading strip transmission, LV3. 3, magic cottage, LV4. 20 households, 10,000 acres of land, shared chairs X20, magic house X1, 4, alchemy, LV1, ordinary human puppet, philosopher's stone, Olympus enchantment and remnant, cabin residence, Scarlet Witch, Agnes, Black Widow, Jean Grey, White Queen, Phantom Cat, Aurora, Wonder Woman. Episode 40. It's Saturday, school doesn't have to go to school, and Carla Danvers, who has eaten breakfast, wanders the streets of the town alone. She has long blonde hair, beautiful facial features, and a 95-point look. Her expression was a little melancholy and a little sad. It is clear that she is a 16-year-old young girl, but she shows such an expression, showing her heart with a story. Her real name is Carla Zoe Air, who came to Earth 3 years ago, was found by her cousin Carl Air, and sent to the Danvers family for adoption. Carla was 13 years old when her cousin was born, and now her cousin is almost 30, and she is only 16 years old. Even if she says this strange thing, I am afraid that no one will believe it. Although 3 years have passed, she still can't forget the destruction of her hometown and the death of her parents, and her mood becomes extremely low every time she thinks about it. Cranky, she unknowingly walked to the park of the town. She sat on the swing, swayed, and continued to reminisce about the happy times on Krypton in the past. Hey, little girl, the melancholy expression is not suitable for your age, what are you thinking? A handsome young man came from the side and asked her on the swing opposite her. Carla looked up, looked at the other person, and she said, "I'm homesick." "Then go back and take a look." The man said, "I want to go back too, but I can't." Carla lowered her head in disappointment, the corners of her eyes unconsciously moist. "Maybe I can help, come, grab my hand." The man held out his hand to her. Kara looked up, saw the other party's gentle and handsome face, and didn't know what to think, and the ghost sent her hand up. In the next moment, Kara only felt that his soul left his body, and the sky swirled for a while, and he was shocked to find that he and the man were floating in the universe, and the two bodies were translucent, like ghosts, flying towards the depths of the universe. In an instant, they arrived at a star system with a red sun, where they could see the remains of a broken planet. "Here it is." Carla was shocked. She remembered the red sun of her hometown, did she say? What shocked her even more was still to come, only to see that time began to turn back, year or two, until nearly 30 years ago, the broken Krypton reunited into a whole planet in the reverse time. The two get closer to Krypton, and finally close to Kara's home. This is Yi Bai's ability to read notes. She and Kara are observing the universe in 4 dimensions, not that the two have really returned to the past, and now they are more like time ghosts that ordinary people cannot see themselves and cannot interfere with the material world. Carla looked at the house in shock, saw her past self, saw her father Zoe L, and her mother Alora. She threw herself into her parents' arms excitedly, but her body penetrated. She tried to communicate with them, but they couldn't hear or see. Kara looked at the handsome man with a help-seeking gaze, and the man shook his head. We are just observing the past, not really coming to the past. She listened, her expression was dark. She looked at her past parents, sad tears flowed, the suppressed thoughts in her heart could no longer be suppressed, and she sobbed unconsciously. After crying for a while, she looked at the man and asked, "Who are you?" "My name is Yibai." "Can you really get me to go back in time?" "Can Yibai do it?" "Naturally, it can be done," but he said, "It is a dangerous thing to change the past, but..." "But what?" Kara excitedly took Yibai's hand and asked. She thought that she would never see her biological parents again, but now that she has the opportunity, she will seize anything. She did not suspect that the other party deceived herself, since the other party could take herself to observe the past, then returning to the past should also be able to do it. Right? You have to join us and be our own, so I can help you. Someone's wolf tail is exposed. He withdrew his hand, and Kara only felt the world spinning for a while, and when he felt grounded again, he found that his consciousness returned to his body, back to the swing in the park in Midvale Town. "Okay, I promised," Carla said without thinking. Magic cottage occupants, +1. Yibai took her back to the pocket-dimensional space, and Kara was just like Diana who came here for the first time, curious about everything here. Yibai used the old trick to take her to eat the youth fruit in the orchard, and then took her into the castle to meet everyone. At this time, the women were taking Diana in the sharing room, allowing her to experience the magic of the shared chair. Yibai came in at this time and introduced everyone. "Hey, I found another powerful girl." Everyone looked over, being stared at by so many people, made Kara very shy. She said weakly, "Hello, my name is Kara Danvers." Diana asked suspiciously, "She is the one who is stronger than you?" Hearing Diana say this, everyone became interested and looked this shy girl up and down. Yibai introduced, "She is an alien. Nearly 30 years ago, her home planet Krypton exploded, and just before the explosion, her parents sent it out of Krypton to Earth. With all due respect, she doesn't look like she is 30. Jenny complained. Kara weakly explained, "My spaceship was affected by a planetary explosion and rushed into a place where time stood still, and did not fly out of there until 3 years ago." Jenny was abrupt. "Just listen to Yibai continue to introduce, Kryptonians and Earthlings are different. Their home star is 10 times higher than the Earth's gravity, which makes their physical fitness extremely strong. Kryptonians themselves can absorb the energy of the yellow sun into the body. In the Earth, where the yellow sun shines, Kryptonians are almost invincible. The indestructible body of steel, the superpower with almost no upper limit, the super speed that can circle the Earth several times per second with continuous acceleration. The ear can hear all the sounds in all corners of the Earth. The eye can see through and see a bacterium on a planet several light years away. The eyes can emit thermal vision similar to the laser eye, and the blow can freeze for kilometers. Some people describe Kryptonians as earthly gods who walk on the ground." The more Yibai introduced, the bigger everyone's mouths opened. "The strength is so strong, Captain Marvel can't compare to it." Kara also had this expression. She raised her hand and asked weakly, "I'm so strong, why don't I know it myself?" "Because you haven't really released yourself, reality is a shackle to you, and your heart is still hesitating. When you truly liberate yourself, you will find yourself invincible." Yibai did not say this nonsense. The Kara Danvers in front of him is not the Supergirl in the TV series, although it is far from being comparable to the Silver Period Superman, but the new 52-level Kryptonian combat power is still there, and she is stronger than Superman. Superman is a natural birth. Kara was cultivated as a warrior, and the phantom area where time stood still in those years, her body absorbed a lot of energy, no shorter than Superman's time to shine on the sun.